All right, folks, we're talking about The Bluebell from an Old Garden by Edward MacDowell. So, Edward MacDowell is late Romantic composer, 1860 to 1908. He was born in New York and he studied piano in New York, but he also moved to Europe and he studied all over Europe. He went to several different schools, decided he wasn't too happy with the teachers there, and ended up going to France and I think Germany, several different places. He championed the small character piece. After finishing his training, he ended up taking several teaching jobs, including Columbia University here in America. And these jobs were quite stressful for him. It was very time consuming. And so, a theory is he didn't have a whole lot of time to write lengthy pieces. And so, this was one theory that he had for that everybody has for writing small character pieces. But on the other hand, character pieces were also popular during this time. He's a product of nationalism, transcendentalism, and impressionism. So, this was a time still when America was trying to separate themselves from Europe. So, you hear a lot of lyrical sounding things that kind of reflect, I would say, American songs, American lyrical songs in his melodies. And transcendentalism, this was very popular during the Romantic period, and aspects of transcendentalism. There is the theory that people are inherently good. So there's confidence. Nature is a place where our minds are rejuvenated. So there's the importance of nature. There's a lot of natural aspects to his piece. To do something yourself is the best we can do. So a lot of self reliance. The individual is better than society at large. So there's the aspect of nonconformity. You can see this in composers such as Debussy, and Edward MacDowell is another one of these. And our lives and ideas matter. So the idea of free thought, this can be seen in a lot of romantics. So he also, when you do research on Edward MacDowell, you see the term tone poet. And he was very good at creating mood, creating an atmosphere with his music. And I think this is where the term tone poet comes from. If we go to the librettist, Margaret, I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly, Margaret Deland. Um, um, and she lived from 1857 to 1945. She was born in rural Pennsylvania, and she was famous for being part of the realist movement. And this was um, a transformative phase. So she didn't spend her entire career in the realist movement. Um, so romanticism, I should say, romantic poetry is, it tells us what the heart should be, you know, um, and then realist, it tells us as the world, it tells us what the world as is, what the world really is, and what love really is. And I'm not very good at poetry. I'm not going to pretend to be, but the the song that we're talking about, Bluebell from an Old Garden, it's made up of six poems, all of them with the names of flowers. And I think this has a mix of romantic and realist aspects to them. For instance, the clover. O ruddy lover, O brave red clover, didst think to win her thou dost adore. She will not love thee, she looks above thee. The daisy's gold doth move her more. If gold can win her, so leave the sinner, and sigh no more. So it's kind of saying, if you're in love with this person and their eyes are above you, uh, basically looking at somebody else who might be more beautiful or richer, just leave them behind. Don't waste your time on this person. And it's kind of a very realistic lesson. So that's where I think the realism comes in. But on the other hand, it's kind of romantic metaphors here, where we're using flowers to visualize all of it. Let's look at another one, the bluebell, which is the one we're going to hear. In love she fell, my shy bluebell, with a with a strolling bumblebee. He whispered low, I love you so. Sweet, give your heart to me. I love but you, and I'll be true. Oh, give me your heart, I pray. She bent her head. I will, she said, when lo, he flew away. So, this is a little bit about temptation and taking chances on love. And he's tempting her, saying, I'll love you. Come on, I love you with all my heart. Come on. And she bends her head. She gets closer and closer to him. And in the end, he just flies away. He just leaves her behind. Again, a very realistic lesson in the world of love. But again, kind of romantic metaphors here. We're talking about a bumblebee and a bluebell, a flower in this case, you know, falling in love. So romantic metaphors, but realistic lessons associated with them. I think this is kind of a hybrid poem when you think about it. Let's take a listen to it. So I am not a singer, I am a pianist. So in this case, I recorded the piano separately and then sang to my own accompaniment, and it was very quiet. So the ensemble here is not great. So I apologize in advance. In love she fell, my shy bluebell, with a strolling bumblebee. He whispered low, so sweet, give your heart to me. I love but you, and I'll be true. Oh, give me your heart, your heart, I pray. She bent her head. I will, she said, when love is far away. So you can hear how MacDowell is a pianist. It's a very pianistic accompaniment. And even though the lesson here is kind of, well, kind of not of a happy ending, the piano accompaniment kind of makes it kind of lighthearted with that long arpeggio at the end. It almost makes it seem a bit humorous. It's like, well, you took a chance on love, the your true love left you, and well, you paid the price, and you're just gonna move on with your life. Um, so now, with the time I have remaining, I want to talk about something kind of fun, which is MacDowell's piano compositions, because of course he was a pianist. So I think his piano compositions are really some of his best. And it really displays his ability to to tell a story using just your hands without the distraction of words. His style in the piano realm goes kind of between being very pianistic to evoke all of that atmosphere, and then also he has a very homorhythmic texture, homophonic texture that can be very difficult to play on a percussion instrument using 10 fingers, because it's also, again, very lyrical, and doing that on a percussion instrument like the piano can be it's difficult without the right training. So I want to talk about, let's go to C pieces, This is going to be the first movement of C Pieces by MacDowell. And I don't have it queued up. I should. Here we go. We'll pick the one that has, we're going to do the first movement. And we're going to do To the Sea. See if you can imagine this. You can see what I'm talking about with this homorhythmic texture. And voicing that top line, that top note, while playing so softly, so many notes can be so difficult. So you see what I'm talking about. Voicing, trying to keep it lyrical, and you can hear the almost nationalistic melodies that he's evoking with this piece. And this is the fun part. This is what I like. At the end, you can see these bass notes, these bass octaves, and you can almost hear waves crashing against the rocks on the seaside. And that's how I think MacDowell is so good at painting a picture for us. Now, let's look at one other piece of his. This is from Fireside Tales. Oh, I didn't do that right. Oh, that's okay. There we go. And I want to jump to, I think, which one is the one I want? I think it's this one. Nope, that's German Forest of Salamanders, the one I want. This one's much more pianistic. You notice he takes just a few motives, really, and really paints a vivid picture. So the challenges of playing a song like this, even though it fits into the hands a little bit better than the other one, you've got lots of different lines to be juggling and knowing which one to play. So you can see what I'm talking about. I hope you've enjoyed this, and good luck on finals.